This college basketball picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. WynnBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBet has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100 and get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. We're also brought to you by the SGPN Thanksgiving free roll. Everyone who hits a football bingo in our contest will win $100 cash and a $100 gift card to the SGPN store exclusively on the SGPN app.
Hey, this is John Sally, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. 1 week into the haircut, Colby still looking good next to me, which means we're looking good together. Sean?
Yes, joining us as always.
Oh, I was good before we bring Colby on. This is bonus content. We're jamming all these episodes into a couple days, and Colby goes, "We got to cover the Monday slate. It's incredible." So here we are. Hopefully, if
we're
you're
taping this Monday morning live on YouTube, youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. Perfect reason to subscribe. The shelf life, unfortunately, will be very short because of the condensed schedule, but we got to get the guys their picks.
Sean, even more reason to smash the
subscribe
bell,
the
turn
those notifications on.
I mean, honestly,
yeah,
it's like free candy just for showing up.
Guys, I said I wanted to cover the Maui Invitational, not on a podcast that morning. I wanted to go to Maui. You guys got that confused.
That man speaking right there is Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee, aka Benedict Dant, joining us. We feel like we barely even call you Dantabase anymore. That's for the old.
That was
heads.
A long time ago, man.
That was before he became Tout Dundee.
The world's changed, man.
Speaking of Touting, coming off a pretty good week of picks. I think we went. What is this? 3, 1, and 2. We had 2 pushes in there on the locks.
What the fuck pushes?
We all hit our money line dogs.
Dog.
We had. I had LMU. You guys had UVA, and I also hit my money line round robin. Temple, UVA, and then FSU was a loser, but still came out with a nice.
We should highlight, if you didn't watch the Virginia Tech Penn State game, it ended in a way where Penn State just let Virginia Tech run the clock out.
Yeah,
it was if you want to look in
participating in the sports gambling podcast.
If you want to look into a situation where a kid maybe had a couple bucks on +3, then the closing number, the guy was right next to him and he just let him dribble out the clock. He understands that he has to foul and stop the
It's
game.
a 2-point game. I don't even understand.
They defended the possession. They were trying to get the steal.
There's a second left.
Yeah,
I mean, college kids miss free throws all the time. It's I don't get it.
I liked how it played out. As a fan of the program, I liked how it played out.
Real Penn State fan over there.
Nothing to see here.
Real teams lose and push.
How about our boy from Loyola?
Oh man, LMU was just they won that tournament, which was awesome. The second half splits in that Georgetown game were hilarious. They were down 18, and then ended up winning by 18. I think it was something like a 36-point swing.
Don't fade the mullet.
So last year around this time, I dug this out of my notes from last year. I wrote down, be careful about who you fall in love with in November. We were if you remember, we fell in love with some shitty teams last November because they're playing in these weird spots, and next thing you know, they're not actually that good. And so just be careful, mullet aside.
We're getting this kid on the show.
Yeah.
Can we get a final ruling on the name pronunciation? Kelly LePepe.
Yeah, LePepe.
I feel is that the character?
That just could be the announcer. You know what I mean?
Like, LePepe.
Yeah.
It is World Cup season.
Hey, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. Bet $100, get a $100 free bet. Spin that parlay wheel. It is so fun. So many ways to win. when you go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. Available in a ton of states. 4 states on the way. Great for in-game wagering. And of course, bet $100. Get that $100 free bet. What are you doing? And of course, exclusively on the SGPN app, free football bingo for Thanksgiving. That's right. Sign in on the app, enter your card. You'll get a bingo board, and basically players who score touchdowns, a couple player props in there. Obviously, if you get bingo, $100 cash and a $100 gift card to the merch store. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/WynnBet. Bet big. Win bigger. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where play through windows available. If you're assuming there's a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
And shout out to the men's World Cup team. They're about to go live. And Sean, it almost looks like they're coming back from like a Grateful Dead concert or something with these warm-ups. I saw someone on Twitter make a comment. Looks like a bunch of kids got some white Hanes shirts and did some tie-dye.
Yes, it does seem like something where you come back from a party as a kid, like they let us tie-dye shirts. It's this crazy.
Cutter wouldn't let us bring our actual warm-ups over, so we had to make them in. No, I'm just.
Oh no! Who knows what they allow or don't allow?
We got to work on the setup, get some TVs up there because I really don't get. I don't get much over here. Right. Damn shame.
I'm saying, is this better?
Who's running this operation?
That's a good idea, though. Maybe a high TV.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We'll work on that.
Go.
All right, let's go. Let's get
college
to these
basketball.
Picks. They're starting soon.
We got a game starting in 45 minutes. So live stream bonus pick. You're welcome. Live stream. Texas Tech, Creighton. We're heading to Maui. It's the Maui Invitational. Colby, when's the last time the Maui Invitational was in Maui? 2019.
Yeah. But Rothstein tweeted out it's been 20 years since I've seen a Maui Invitational this loaded.
Because people realize it's Hawaii's nice and the teams are generally pretty good basketball, and it's a good hang. I hear there's some stories.
Oh man,
around the pools, late night situations involving cards and money. Texas Tech is catching 2.5.
Hashtag Legends only.
I mean, it's like Jordan just needs to show up and create a fun situation. Texas Tech catching 2.5 here against Creighton.
Yeah, I mean, look, and this
2 of the better conferentes in the land.
I think this is the best game of the day, man. This is the best game of the day. And look, Texas Tech does have one of their better players injured, Fardaz Amik, from the transfer from Utah Valley. He's a big, and I think that's one of the storylines in this game is will Kevin O'Banner. We are very familiar with Kevin O'Banner when he was at Oral Roberts and they had that Sweet 16 run, and then last year he was a beast for Texas Tech in the tournament. He's going to be asked to go up against the bigs of Creighton, who are pretty damn good to start the season. You look at
talking about Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Yeah, Kalkbrenner.
Sean,
Alex Kaluma.
You know how to pronounce Kalkbrenner.
Yeah.
To me, the handicap is defense travels. Like in these situations where you're playing in a strange land, a different country.
So which team are you suggesting then? They're both pretty good at defense.
Well, I'm saying Texas Tech. I think, Creighton's defense isn't bad, but Texas Tech 11th in the nation in defense. I know they can't shoot the 3-ball well, but I like them with the defensive edge there. I'm taking them.
Do you know where they filmed the original Jurassic Park, Sean?
No, I don't.
It was filmed in Hawaii.
Oh, I do. I've taken that helicopter tour, and they play the goddamn Jurassic Park music. It's fabulous.
Well, the reason why I mentioned it is Jurassic Park was written by Michael Creighton. All right, who you called Creighton
right there.
Yeah, something. They're home. They're home. Give me Creighton minus the points, baby. Let's go. They're number 8th in the nation in offense right now. They're firing
defense
away.
beats offense. I'm surprised your team offense, Colby.
If Texas Tech was healthy, I'd probably take the Texas Tech. But with the best
you're getting a good price.
Yeah, I'm going Michael Creighton.
I'm going to lay the points with Creighton as well.
Wow,
although
welcome to Jurassic Park.
Although they can struggle with the free throw, so something to note. All right, moving along. Noon, 30 minutes later. So again, get them early. Get your bets in. Live chat. Kansas City, Missouri plays host to Grand Canyon. What have we looked into this university yet? Do we find out what they actually are? Is it chiropractor?
Well, it's nowhere close to the Grand Canyon, which I find fascinating.
How do you call yourself? They're heading to Wichita State, or they're heading to Kansas City to play Wichita State. This one's a pick'em. As we found out when Wichita State went on their famed run, a shocker is actually not a sexual act, but it's a
wheat.
It's a unit of wheat. Very confusing.
I played under review.
I planted some wheat in my day.
Yeah.
This one's interesting though because Wichita kind of looked like maybe they were questionable in the first couple games, and they go and win a big game at Richmond. And
I planted some wheat in my day.
I mean, Grand Canyon, they were pretty disappointed. I think it was earlier on in the season where I took them laying 7, felt like a great spot. What do you make of this Grand Canyon team, Colby?
Well, I trust Bryce Drew. The offense is 23rd in the nation, taking care of the rock, and Wichita has kind of been a little unpredictable too, because you look at Wichita's first 2 outings. That, like I said, they did beat Richmond, but they lost to Alcorn State. That was a bit surprising. That was in Wichita. You would think Wichita would have the home court advantage here in Kansas City. I'm on the Antelopes in Grand Canyon. I think that WCC is really not the WAC is really good this season. You've seen it with Sam Houston State's performances against Oklahoma and Utah. I just think I trust Bryce Drew, and yeah, they did lose that game. I think that you took was against Nevada.
Yeah.
I like the backcourt of Blackshear and Harrison, and I think that will be the advantage. Give me Grand Canyon.
Kramer Island. Wichita State shuts down the 3-point line. Let's go. I was gonna say I'm
gonna go Wichita State as well. From that game against Nevada, I'm a little butthurt still, so I'm going Wichita State. I didn't like what I saw out of that team.
Kramer Island coming off a horrible 0-3 performance in the last episode. So.
Yes.
You joined me. Oh
yeah, no, you didn't give me a chance to pick. I was leaning Grand Canyon, but
I saw it on the sheet. So
well, I can adjust my pick.
Sean writes in pencil at all times, just like Benedict Dant.
We'll see what the closing number is. We still got a couple hours to tip. I can switch my pick.
And
stay tuned.
And to your point, like from a territorial standpoint, it does seem like Wichita should have the crowd. All right, 2 p.m. a little bit later in the day on the West Coast, Nevada. Heading, I guess they're already in the Cayman Islands. Oof, man, these schools, where are they getting all this money, Colby? I thought this was amateur athletics.
They don't have to go down there. Why are they going down to the Cayman? They don't have to wash their laundry anymore. I mean, now that you can pay kids in the open, why do you even have to go to the Cayman Islands?
And shout out, we have boots on the ground in the Cayman Islands.
Oh yeah,
the gyms are pretty hilariously high schooly. Nevada, Tulane laying 3.5 here.
John Gray Gymnasium.
Who's John Gray?
Jim Gray's brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jim Gray's brother. He pulled a Marv Alberts and had panties on his head too. Then he bounced down to the Cayman Islands to get away from it all.
Within 3 degrees of some sort of deviant sexual act, Colby's on it. Colby's tracking it.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
I mean, both these teams are undefeated. Is this line not a little bit high considering what we've seen out of this Nevada team? 19th in the nation and taking care of the rock. 31st ranked offense in the country. Tulane's also really good. It just seems a hair high. Tulane good at rebounding. I don't know. What's your take on
Nevada? Hasn't played anyone. I mean, they whooped up on Grand Canyon, who I just picked against. But other than that, they haven't played anyone.
You guys remember a few years ago, Ron Hunter was the coach of Georgia State. You remember he was in the chair. He was in the chair when they hit the game winner. And he had a fucking cast on his foot.
Love that guy. Most memorable coach since Towel Biter for me.
Dude, he is really building up this Tulane program. They're 17th in the country defensively. I look at this team and I think they really could be a tournament team this year. I'm going to take the green wave. I have a rule: fade Steve Alford also. So 17th ranked defense. This is where you go defense over offense because Alford does have the 31st.
Do you remember offense. It's a good principle actually. No further handicap needed.
Just fading Steve Alford.
I mean, what has he done for you lately? He ruined the UCLA program. That
is true.
Objective statement.
All right, I'll take Tulane minus.
And a guy he's not calling in sick. He's not zooming into the game. He's rolling around on a scooter.
Colby, why is Cal State Matadors, Tennessee State Tigers not on this game?
The Matadors just have been a mess ever since you left the program, Sean.
I'm throwing in a bonus pick. Northridge on the money line against at Tennessee State Tigers.
Don't do that.
You can get that plus 168.
So
you get that plus 168.
Bonus picks are allowed when Sean wants to make them. Got it. All right. Yep. Heading back to Maui, which by the way,
well, you got to play on the Tennessee State Tigers. Feel free.
I would always take Tennessee State in that matchup. Which, by the way, most of Jurassic Park was actually not filmed on Maui. It was filmed on Kauai and the Big Island.
Oh.
So you can take your Michael Creighton, and although I do like the angle, I'm taking Creighton as well. Louisville taking on Arkansas. Arkansas laying a big number here. This strikes me as just a typical. I mean, we saw the Must Bus hanging out on the beach, shirtless with his players.
It was his birthday.
They're having a good time.
I mean, this is
covering
like,
a big number is not their priority.
No, this is like boat trip written all over it. I love Louisville catching the points, and Colby had a good nugget in here. They've lost all 3 games by 1 point. First time that's happened since 1982. That means they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder too.
Yeah.
I mean, Arkansas kind of feels like in cruise mode, and you're out in Hawaii. It's going to be tough to cover a big number in Hawaii, I think.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kenny Payne's still looking for his first win at Louisville, and look, Louisville, like I get it, Kenny Payne played there, but they should have seen the writing on the wall that the NCAA was powerless, and they should have brought home Rick Pitino. They should have brought him home.
They could have had him.
They could have done that. They didn't.
He could have fixed
Sometimes
over the
you have to own who you are.
I mean, who better to smooth over the Papa John situation than Rick Pitino? Like a magician. Oh, look over here.
I'm on the Cardinals too, though. I think sometimes I think it's good to get out of the city. Kentucky is a basketball state.
Yeah.
You're living
off.
You're living in a fishbowl, man.
Don't tell that to Bob Stoops, but yeah, it's a basketball state.
Mark Stoops.
Sorry, what did I say, Bob? Yeah. Thank you.
All over Louisville. This is
yeah,
lock potential.
As soon as I saw the picture of him shirtless on the beach with his players, I knew what this trip was all about for the Must Bus. Georgia Tech, Utah. We're heading to Fort Myers, Florida. 3 p.m. on the West Coast. What's the occasion here? Utah laying 5. Colby. Is this some sort of
Does this always happen? I know the Maui Invitational.
No. Like what's the tourney? What's the situation? I know what's going on.
I know it too, but
which, by the way,
saw it on TV
as a relative, like
Fort Myers tip off.
The Fort Myers tip off.
Are they having more tournaments than I remember? I always remember Maui and a couple of the other ones, but it feels like there's some more random ones.
Just gonna ask that.
I think they might be on the same, maybe a little bit more, but they're getting more coverage. I remember the one in Cancun a couple years ago wasn't even on fucking TV. You're sitting there like, dude, what's going on? Like they had good teams and we couldn't watch the games.
It's interesting too. The Fort Myers tip off also what Robert Kraft calls his trips to Florida. All right, Georgia Tech, Utah.
Just take the tip off. Thank you.
Long trip for Utah. Didn't have success as a football team when they came down to Florida early in the season to take on the Gators. This time it's a neutral site gimmick against Georgia Tech. I don't know. I mean, are you in on Georgia Tech this year? Yeah,
no, I'm not. I like Craig Smith and what he's doing at Utah. I know they got upset by Sam Houston State, but Sam Houston State is really legit. They won in Norman against Oklahoma. So I don't take that as like, oh, their team's terrible. I think Utah's still good. I think he's building this thing. They have the 23rd best defense in the nation. They got this big man, Brandon Carlson, 17 points a game. Man, come on, Josh Pastner. Georgia Tech's got a new athletic director. He's on shaky ground.
Well, I was gonna say, just to remind Sean, do you remember the Georgia Tech coach from the pandemic? He was the face shield guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, we faded the shit out of him.
Yeah.
He had a early success, and then he had a decent season a couple years ago to make the tournament. Coming off a 12-20 season, like Colby said, this is purely in the college basketball black book. Look to fade Josh.
Yeah, Utah -5
in neutral site situation.
Fade the guy on the circular saw.
4 p.m. on the West Coast.
Also, I do think, especially just one thought overall, teams that are undefeated like Georgia Tech, you're probably getting like a better number because the fact that they're undefeated than you would normally.
Yeah.
If they're actually a good team. So finding out and betting against some of these kind of undefeated teams that are frauds, probably some better numbers.
They almost lost to Georgia State.
Yeah,
I mean
that's a little brother game though. Georgia State's not terrible.
They handled Clayton State pretty well.
D2.
Colby
D2.
can tell us about that later.
Clayton Bigsby has his own university now.
4 p.m. on the West Coast. Syracuse. Why do we keep doing this to Sean? Syracuse heads to Brooklyn to play Richmond. Syracuse laying 4. What's the occasion here in Brooklyn?
It's another
Barclays,
tournament. It's another.
Invitational?
Yeah, it's.
They're there to.
Yeah.
I'm with Sean. There definitely weren't this many.
No,
on. But this is what college football should look at too. Like here's your bowl games. These are your bowl games. Do them early in the season. Have great matchups.
Bowl games could be fun. Like You like just make the Rose Bowl, make it in like September.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I look, and this is where we differ a little bit. Like I watched that Indiana at Xavier game this past weekend. Give me the home environments all day. I don't want these corporate NBA games. All right, give me home environment.
But I'm not saying
as far as getting rid of bowl games, as a way to expand the playoff. I think that's.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like
I'm always for home playoff.
The game
games.
won't happen if it doesn't happen as a bowl game. I'm not saying there's an alternative reality where they're at their home.
Colby got real mad.
I don't like neutral site.
But you're adding in something. But you like these.
But if
I like the ones in like Maui and shit because it's like okay, but like in New York City, like Temple is playing later. Temple's playing St. John's. They're both right there in the Northeast. Just fucking play it in Philadelphia this year,
you're missing the part where it's also like it's a carrot to the kids too. You know, they get some swag. They get to go to an island or a city. I mean, hopefully they're not just going to Kansas City.
Fort Myers, Florida.
Yeah.
Well, that's the tip off. That's where you can get.
I'm in Wichita. Oh no, I'm in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's not a great location. I mean, that's like when they started having bowls in like North Dakota. It's like, all right, no one wins here. All right, Syracuse laying 4 here in Brooklyn for the ACC.
No, I was trying to find this thing because there's another Brooklyn tournament in a couple weeks too. So it's
Syracuse laying 4 against Richmond. You put this here to trap Sean, I assume.
Spiders.
Oh,
really?
You going with the Spiders?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm with you. I think Syracuse will have the home court advantage.
Nice win against Northeastern.
It's the Empire Classic in Brooklyn.
Love that one.
Are they celebrating the Queen's Empire?
Syracuse, they still got some good. They still got some, some senior laden talent. Judah Mintz, Joseph Girard.
You can hear him losing the love.
No,
it's not. The passion isn't there anymore.
I mean, I get fired up tournament time. That's when I get emotional.
I think Mintz is a freshman, but Girard is an experienced guy. Same with Jesse Edwards there. So. I agree though.
He's playing like a veteran. Colby. Yeah, that's what I was getting.
Richmond, Richmond. They don't have Jacob Gilliard anymore. Now I will say to open the season, I was impressed with the Spiders when they beat Northern Iowa, who's looking good while we speak right now. And then they only lost to Charleston by 2 at Charleston, and only lost to Wichita by 3. So their 2-2 records not nearly as bad as what
battle tested. We like to say.
I'm going to take the Qs though. This is
one. Here we go.
Statement there. Let's give me the Qs to get this done in New York.
Orange. Kramer, you going Island game and getting cute and taking Richmond? Or are you gonna do the right thing and take Syracuse?
I mean, the concerning aspect would be Richmond shoots a lot of threes. They're not great at shooting the 3. Syracuse has been really bad defending the 3. Wish they were better at shooting the 3. Still going to go against them. Give me Richmond. Maybe they get hot because this Syracuse team will let you shoot. Like the zone is not effective yet. Boeheim would say. Rhode Island heads to Kansas State. No, I know.
Kansas City,
I'm fixing it. Rhode Island takes on Kansas State.
Oh no, this is in
the Cayman Islands. Again, who knows?
That's a huge upgrade. Imagine going from Rhode Island to the Cayman Islands. That's like, can you have a bigger discrepancy in islands?
Oh, they have direct flights from Rhode Island down to the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of Buddy Cianci and the crew heading down there.
Which got reports from cousin Mush that he was spotted.
Buddy Cianci.
No. Oh. He was spotted at the Mohegan Sun. I was just speaking of Italian gentlemen from Rhode Island. Yeah, cousin Mush is now someone that people want to take a selfie with. So shout out to cousin Mush.
Oh, that's fun.
Kansas State laying 10.5 here. Rhode Island keeps a good program. Colby will tell you.
K-State good at defense, good at free throws. Normally a team I don't mind taking as a big favorite, but I'm gonna stick with my idea here that if you're going away on vacation, it's tough to blow out a team. Now maybe Rhode Island, halfway through the second half is just like, hey, we're just here for the sun and fun. But I think this is. I mean, is this not Rhode Island Super Bowl playing in this tournament? I'm taking them plus 10.5.
Rhode Island's breaking in Archie Miller, brand new head coach, brother of Sean Miller.
Yep.
He's
good
off.
Coach.
He's off to struggles though, man. They lost to Quinnipiac, and then Texas State in the opener or like the first week of the season.
That's pretty bad.
And then you have Jerome Tang on the other side of things, who was a Scott Drew assistant at Baylor for like 20 years. Man, Kansas State's won all 3 of their games by double digits. They brought in Keontae Johnson from Florida, who was a beast at Florida a few years ago. I'm on the Wildcats. I'm laying the points with the Wildcats.
Really?
Yeah,
It's a big number.
It's that
right?
Baylor system.
I'm a Rams
Trusting
fan.
it.
All right, Colby talked me into it. Don't
Really?
really have a handicap. My handicap on Rhode Island was all about the fact that the Italian, like someone like Miller,
Yeah, they might. You don't think they know a ref down the Caymans?
they're
bringing their own refs.
they're
Oh, you got
familiar-
the refs taken care of. You don't need a. What certified?
I mean, his brother dropped bags at Arizona.
familiar with the infrastructure, and
They
I
got to
just
talk to the FTX kid down there. Make a
Just-
couple trips.
just looked where the facility is, and it is surrounded by Catholic schools and whatnot. So I'm sure it'll be a familiar place. But yeah, give me Kansas State. Bellarmine, how do we say this? Have we
Bellarmine.
Bellarmine,
Bellarmine. Bellarmine.
Bellarmine, Bellarmine. They're taking on Duke. Is this a home game for Duke?
It is.
Durham, North Carolina.
It is.
Not a classic here. Colby loves the home game. Why are we talking about a 23.5 point Duke favorite?
Well,
5:30 p.m. tip. on the West Coast.
Bellarmine.
They've been scrappy this
Oh,
year.
I know why
They
were
won
picking
at
this game.
Louisville. They won at Louisville, man. And what? I mean, Louisville's won same amount of national championships as Duke in the past 10 years. No,
Oh,
no. I think
shots.
Duke's got one
I
more,
was
right?
gonna say. It's close though. That was a good try.
John Shire's undefeated at home. You know, I mean, this is his first. This is his biggest home test thus far, probably.
Really 23.5 point spread.
I mean, not from a spread point of view because Jacksonville was 17, but
This is the toughest team they've played.
So it sounds like you're on Duke, right, Colby?
no, I'm on Bellarmine.
know.
I think
You love Bellarmine. I'm with you on the ride. I think this Duke team, that's a bit high. 23.5.
They have a good program there. They really do. They've only been in D1.
Are we worried
for a
about
while.
the litness potential? Do we do a
Oh,
litmus
this will
test?
be lit. This litmus test will be through the roof.
Are we talking
kids
like?
are off for Thanksgiving holiday.
Yep.
I don't know. When I went to school, you had to go to school Monday, Tuesday, and then you had maybe you got out early Wednesday. Kids these days, they get the whole week off.
Oh, we got the whole
Yeah.
week off.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
At Tech we did. But I remember
I
other
don't remember
friends.
that.
College, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
You don't
talking
remember that
about.
because you were doing Jaeger bombs all day. Oh no, in high school you're
Oh,
saying?
now
Yeah.
Oh,
fall break
okay.
is definitely happening right now. Kids are getting it all off. Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll listen to Colby here. I feel a little like I'm being walked into a trap. This is a Duke
Colby does fall in love with
home
some
game,
teams.
but I'm with you. I think this looks more like Texas A&M last weekend taking on UMass as compared to when we were there. I mean, the difference in the crowd.
Yeah.
I thought, what did I say to you guys? I said, "Wow, this is."
You would think the JFK Bowl would bring in a lot of people.
This is
but
pretty impressive down here in Aggie land. That not only do they love football, but they love their fucking parade. And to think that parade, there were no fans for that parade this time.
Well, the thing is,
I'm off
that,
topic.
I mean,
Give me the Bellarmine.
they do that shit and then they complain about.
That's an embarrassing turnout.
I mean,
Period.
but it was the same in the. Did you catch the? I think it was
why
the
do they?
Auburn.
Why do they schedule UMass if no one's? Gonna
That's
come
what
to
I'm
the
saying.
game?
And then you see Nick Saban who will bitch about this,
So
saying
call-
no one came to the Austin P game.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, yeah, you scheduled Austin P. I got better things to do on a Saturday.
Yeah.
the game we were at, there were a ton of fans.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
if you want to really talk about player safety, Austin P going up against Alabama.
player safety,
Yeah.
don't stand in front of the cannon, UMass.
Colby.
I mean,
was
that
the
video
greatest.
is pretty hilarious. There are these two players just kneeling
They're
in the corner of
praying.
the end
They're
zone.
praying and just
Dear
boom.
Lord, show us a sign that we're going to cover the spread. Boom.
The Lord lied. If that was the case.
No, they did. Did they covered right?
They covered.
Yeah.
They covered that 33.5. They almost fucking.
I'm sorry,
that was
UMass players.
That
Yes.
was a game. That was a game with 10 minutes left. That was like a one-score game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you bring it, Colby, deep dive on the assign Patty C a deep dive research project on injuries in these
Cannon
games.
fire.
SEC versus FCS games.
Oh,
5:30 tip on the West Coast.
Reminds me when I had a bang sight cannon as a
Wait,
kid.
unre-
Do you have one of those, Colby?
no.
Oh, it was like a little steel cannon, and then you would get this powder that you could mix with water. You put it in, and then you push this button, and it would a spark would create it. Where you bang, you get a nice bang out of the cannon.
that sounds
You'd load
amazing.
it with tiny rocks and shoot at army men. It was a
This
great
is pretty
time.
wild. Unrelated, we were discussing cannon fire last night as well. Mississippi State laying 3 against Marquette here in this spot. We're back to the Fort Myers tip off.
It's a great game.
I mean, I think last time we picked Mississippi State, we Now I'm not remembering, but I feel like I have memories of them. We picked
He's
against
4-0.
them. We picked against them, and we were wrong last time.
Chris Jans,
Hail State.
I'm a huge fan of what he does. He was an assistant at Wichita when they made it to the Final Four. He was at New Mexico State. We rode them on the money line against UConn last year, and then a couple years ago, if they could have made free throws, they would have beat Auburn. I remember we were all in the first round of the tournament watching that in Vegas. Look at what he's already done. 10th in the nation in rebounding, 7th in the nation in steals, 3rd in the nation in defense. Mississippi State is. I get it. They haven't played a ton of great competition, but
time to fade shotgun a big moment. Is that what you're saying?
Shaka's ahead of schedule too, man. Both these coaches are to me. I mean, they look good at Purdue down the stretch. They lost that game. I am going to take Mississippi State though. I think Chris Jans has got this.
Hail State.
Yeah, Hail State. Let's go. Tolu Smith.
I'm with you. I like the early start of the program. I like what they've done, and yeah, give me Mississippi State.
There we go. There we go.
Potential lock.
I was ringing that like a real fugazi. I was doing like some backhand thing over. I realized we're on camera. I had to fix it.
Caleb Brown pointing at Hail State unders are money. State plays great defense. Opponents averaging only 46.8 points a game.
That's the Chris Jans.
So it's early.
Small sample size, and you also played the likes of Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Akron's a good team. Arkansas Pine Bluff. So not exactly the toughest.
The grind that Chris Jans went on to get to being a power coach. Oh, okay. He starts off his career at Elmhurst University. Then he goes to Grandview coaching. Then Kirkwood Community College.
Ooh.
Then Independence Community College. Then Idaho as an assistant. But then
guy's hungry.
Then Howard as a junior college. Then Chipola University. I'm pretty sure Patty C eats that every day.
Didn't he got a bowl from Chipola University.
That was just him training for a job in the off season.
Then Illinois State. Then Wichita. Then Bowling Green. Then back to Wichita. Then to New Mexico State. I mean, he's paid his dues to get where he's gotten to. Give me Chris Jans.
Also seems like he's planted wheat in his past.
Yes.
6 p.m. on the West Coast. We got Ohio State taking on San Diego State and Maui. Another great matchup.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So wait, this is 6 o'clock our time, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk body clocks? That's got to be you're tipping off a game. If you're Ohio State, that would be what, 9 o'clock?
It's not that crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's crazy when you're out partying the night before because you're in Hawaii.
Ohio State is pretty good in rebounding, 3rd in the country, 4th in the country in defense. I like our gals, our San Diego State team, but I'm worried this is like a hair high for Ohio State. Colby?
No, see, I think Ohio State's they're lying to you because they played Robert Morris, that gentleman that was probably with going up against Benedict Arnold at some point.
I think he held Benedict's gun. He was his valet.
Then Charleston Southern, then Eastern Illinois, and even the Eastern Illinois game. They're not a very good team. That was they were only up by a few points at halftime. Meanwhile, San Diego State's played BYU. They've played Stanford. Even Cal State Fullerton's decent.
Battle tested.
So I'm going to ride the Aztecs here to get it done. Lock down defensive team.
So you're not worried about the fact that they can be broken down a little bit. I think the Ohio State offense could be an interesting dilemma for them.
But I actually think San Diego State it's almost like Virginia. You've been watching Virginia. They look really good this year. They've added offensive pieces. We haven't seen Virginia be this good at offense. I don't think
same thing.
I don't think ever under Tony Bennett. San Diego State getting like Darian Trammell in the portal from Seattle adds an element. You mix him with Matt Bradley and then Jadon Leday, and they have this is like the best scoring San Diego State team I can recall in a while at least.
Filling it up. Let's go. SDSU.
All right.
Well, Kramer, you can go
Island game. Ohio State plus 4.5.
Island.
You were right.
Island on the island.
You were right to think the number's too big. So
Colby bullied me into San Diego State. No, he made a bunch of good points about common opponents. I'm with
second island game after the Spiders. 6:30 tip here on the West Coast. 9:30 local time back in Brooklyn. St. John's takes on Temple. St. John's minus 3.5. Colby says, "Why is this not in a gym owned by a school?
Play this in Queens.
Disgusting.
Play this in Philadelphia.
Surrounded by soccer moms out in Brooklyn.
You're gonna fucking
Temple all day. Damian Dunn, Khalif Battle, and you're giving these guys points.
It's New York versus Philly.
Temple plus 3.5.
Gotta take New York.
And what I like about Temple is even in their losses, they're both in overtime.
They're scrappy.
I think that they're very much more battle tested. than the Johnnies. I will take Temple on the money line as well, man. I mean,
potential dog for sure.
Yeah, another island game. New York over Philly. Lay the 3.5. Come on, you squares. You lay the 3.5.
They will have the home crowd.
You take the 2.5. You lay the 3.5. Cincinnati. All right, 8:30.
Probably some Temple grads in Brooklyn.
God bless the late night kickoffs.
Cosby's gonna make it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, on the West Coast.
Dusty Baker's good friend.
Yeah, personal friend. 8:30 tip off here on the West Coast. 5:30 out in Maui. Cincinnati taking on Arizona. Some serious cat situation here. I guess it's a bear cat versus a regular cat. I don't know.
A wild cat, buddy.
Minus.
Right. Ryan got trolled in the comments for his disrespect of the Montana State Bobcats. So shout out.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you were talking a bunch of shit that Bobcats are soft. Of course, Montana State rolls. We're talking college football.
A bobcat defeating a grizzly bear is a 1 in a million. So congratulations on your luck. Cincinnati catching 9.5 against the crazy cats of Arizona.
I mean, Cincinnati coming off a loss to Northern Kentucky. Cincinnati pretty good.
That's a rivalry game too. And Cincinnati was crazy enough to go to Northern Kentucky's gym.
Cincinnati really sucks at shooting. 266 in 3-point and 252nd in free throw shooting. Not really what I like to see if I'm taking a dog. But Colby, what are you doing here?
I mean, look, you look at Arizona's numbers; they all look fantastic, but they haven't really played much. Nichols, Southern, and Utah Tech.
They also don't take care of the ball. Like that's the thing that stands out to me.
But I trust the culture that Tommy Lloyd's building with Arizona. I'm going to lay the points with the Wildcats.
What do you think about just in general taking points in this kind of situation? Do you really think there's going to be a blowout here?
I think there's potential because I mean, I think Arizona.
I'm going to lean into my angle of taking these big dogs in these tournaments, just because I don't know. Maybe it works against me, but I like the idea of Cincinnati team with something to prove, bounce back after that rival loss, and being able to hang with Arizona. So give me them.
Are we going to be really irritated because Cincy can't score, and they rely on doing things that they're not going to be able to do against Arizona, like offensive.
Cincy on like as far as like a roster, they're pretty good. Like they're actually closer to the score that's set. I think the line that's set in that game. But I just haven't seen it work out yet with Wes Miller there.
All right, give me Arizona. Colby, talk to me.
I'm on the island.
10 p.m.
You guys didn't even let me go to this one. This is a tournament going on in San Juan Capistrano.
Oh, you're free to go.
Let's go. Come on.
Break the chains, Colby. You can go. San Juan Capistrano, beautiful. Southern Illinois.
But the game's already being played. You get your ticket. You want to see all the games. You don't want to just see one. You know what I mean?
So the Salukis of Southern Illinois are taking on the Rebels. Some say they run of UNLV -1.5.
Disappointing loss last time we had UNLV on the slate here. Southern Illinois, nice start to the season, including they beat Oklahoma State. Didn't see that coming. SIU 21st in the nation free throw, 59th in the nation on defense. Wait, UNLV is undefeated?
They are. They beat Dayton, buddy. I think you took the Flyers and UNLV pulled off the upset. They treated you kind, buddy.
So what game am I thinking of?
They blessed you.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, never mind. They won outright. Well, I was confused with I was confusing that with USC Vermont. No, I'm on UNLV then.
I mean, Southern Illinois did win in Stillwater. That was an impressive win to go on the road to Stillwater and get that dub. They're not a bad team by any means. This should be a ball game, but I agree. Like I think Kevin Kruger, that's the son of Lon Kruger. He's done a great job bringing in talent to Vegas, and I think this year they could be a real threat to make the NCAA tournament. Give me the run of Rebs. And another thing is that trip is much easier for them.
Rebs gonna run.
Yeah.
Wrong team favored. Give me the Salukis.
Illinois.
Shout out Stone Labanowitz.
Shout out Stone and Colby. He just hit us up. He wants to get on some FCS stuff.
Oh, FCS playoffs. We have a real Selection Sunday was yesterday. We had a real playoff where they actually had automatic qualifiers.
Well, they're still selecting people though. It's still nothing more than a dance recital.
No, you win the divisions.
I'm
in.
Fucking with you. Yeah. I was just pissed we didn't have a live reaction show.
Yeah. Sunday's my day off. Sort of. Still doing college basketball experiences.
It's the Lord's Day.
Yeah.
All right, we got the first game we talked about starts in 9 minutes. Let's finish the show. Lock, dog, tease.
Lock, dog, and tease, aka Lock, Dog, Bonus Lock. Brought to you by WynnBet, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. Bet big, win bigger.
Bonus question for Colby.
Yeah. This came in a different language.
Interesting.
Or am I? What's going on with the chat?
No idea what's going on. That could just be a really long username.
Oh yes, that is. Tarleton +7 versus Drake.
Well, I mean, if you listened to us yesterday, I was on Tarleton on the money line as a 7-point dog against Boston College.
Oh baby,
that hit. I'll take the 7 today. I don't know about the money line though. Drake's better than Boston College.
And then Drexel versus UT Arlington. Real quick, Colby.
Wow,
that's a tough one there. I'll go Drexel. I'll go Drexel -3, but I don't feel great about. That's like equal teams right there. So
we need to fire up the F line so people can talk to Colby about these obscure college basketball matchups.
Want to talk Tarleton?
We need to create.
Call me now.
I have an idea. We have to create a AI database that can just interact with people. Oh, a bot.
Hello.
A bot for the Discord.
We expect the stadium to be lit. They keep a good program.
No, it's stuff like this. Like, do you expect blah to be lit? And it's just yes or no answers to start. That's version 1.
Our lit meeting or our lit rating is 6.4.
All right, let's get to it. Lock, dog, bonus lock. Kramer.
You want me to go first? Wichita lock for number 1. Wichita State. Love this spot for them against Grand Canyon. Lock number 2. You know, we discussed it. We like what's happening over there in Tulane, the wave. And then for my dog, slide down the board, Ohio State on the money line. Another Maui game.
So wait, your dog is Ohio State money line.
Yep.
And your bonus lock is Tulane, and we got that at -3.5. For me, this is easy. This is Utah -5. Shout out to Moneyline Mac helping me lock up the Utes there.
Oh, what is this?
Dog. Dog. Temple on the money line.
Benedicting.
Bonus lock.
It's like these chess guys. He's got shit slid up his ass. He's cheating.
Yeah.
He's getting into.
It's in the YouTube chat, Ryan. You're staring at it. Temple money line as the dog, then Louisville +15.5. And we actually have an early version of the database AI program.
Do I still have a lisp?
You call up and just imagine.
Just sipping that beautiful whiskey you guys get.
Yeah, but who do you like, Tarleton or University of Texas Arlington?
565.
Okay, now what's the spread? What's the money line pay on that upset pick?
565. I think Blake Bortles is better than Dak Prescott.
Oh wow,
Prescott.
How that take has aged much like the whiskey. All right, Colby, what do you got? Lock, dog, bonus lock.
I am locking up. Let's start off with Michael Creighton -2.5. Texas Tech doesn't have the guys that could score right now against.
So the game that's starting in 6 minutes.
Yeah,
for the podcast.
Lock it up.
You know what, Sean? Slide another lock on here because I also have 2 early locks. So I'll give out a later lock.
Yeah,
since Colby.
Okay.
This is clearly a pick Dundee maneuver.
Okay. Well, I'm also a bonus lock will be the 2 bonus locks. Then I'm going to lock up Tulane -3.5 against Nevada, and I'm going to lock up UNLV -1.5 against Southern Illinois.
I'll throw in a bonus lock of Mississippi State -3.
Yeah, throw that in mind too. That was exactly what I was going to do, Sean.
Little Hail State action and
Hail State
for the dog. It's the Temple Owls, man. Let's ride that. Let's ride that money line there with the Owls.
Let's ride.
What about our round robin guys?
Well, do we think Louisville has a shot? Because I mean, the Must Bus was shirtless on a beach with his players, which means there's a chance he was getting into some like deviant sexual stuff with his players.
Wow,
right?
Ryan.
Well, if he's willing to touch skin, I don't know.
Willing to touch skin.
He's a married man. You know what I mean?
Well, is she in Hawaii?
I would assume so.
Honey, I got a late night practice meeting with the fellas. We're going over penetration.
No, that sound is just me eating the shaved ice. Right?
It's shave ice, not
whatever
shaved
the
ice.
fuck.
Shave ice.
I haven't been, guys. I'm waiting to go to the Maui Invitational
next year, Colby. We can make that an aspirational goal for the business.
I don't know if I'd like any. So
What do you mean you don't like any?
No, I'm trying to think of a money line round robin.
Bellarmine. Yeah, it to me,
I'm just gonna do. I'll do Temple and Cincinnati as just a money line dog parlay. Shock the world. Let's go.
You want any?
Yeah, it's tough. We went with a lot of favorites.
I mean,
Temple and Bellarmine, right? No, we got to go Louisville over Bellarmine. Like the Temple and Louisville. Let's do it.
I'm not on Temple, guys.
Oh,
well. Yeah, you can join in on that. But I think Louisville, just as a flat out money line, might be just a fun.
I mean, Rhode Island probably is. Keep an eye on that one as well.
Yeah, you don't have to force it.
All right, no forcing. Hey, I do have to force you to get involved in the Thanksgiving bingo. It's our way of giving back $100 cash and $100 gift card if you hit a Thanksgiving bingo.
And what's that cost to enter?
Completely free.
Oh, okay.
Just download the SGPN app. Perfect thing to get the friends and family involved. If your old man wants to get a little action, or maybe your mom, wife,
everyone knows bingo.
Nephew. Your nephew has a phone.
Can I tell you a quick side story? No. This will take 2 seconds.
Old ladies like bingo.
Grandmother, nearing 100 years old. She's a couple years short, but recently moved into one of those kind of retirement homes, whatever they call them. And the family was concerned because weren't sure how it was going to take. And turns out the access to gambling, aka bingo, every night is a positive. So and Sean, you were saying only one person can win bingo, though, right?
No,
we're cutting it off at one person.
Multiple people. Wow. We're trying to give out a bunch of winners. Unlimited.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Rest in peace, Nathaniel Hackett.
Kramer, let it ride. Dong.